Hello, I'm Charlene with Community Futures Parkland, and I'm very pleased to be able to share an excellent resource to those businesses that may be looking to transition or sell their business. With the Rural Opportunities Fund, since April 2020, we have been researching and providing information and resources relating to business succession and transition. I'm very pleased to have Darrell Goertzen, business advisor for the last 10 years with Venture Connect, joining us today to share his expertise and knowledge relating to this subject. Darrell has worked with Venture Connect with thousands of businesses within rural communities who have been looking to plan for business transition and sales. So welcome, Darrell.
Thank you, Charlene. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Selling your business is a challenge in today's market. And I know for most entrepreneurs, this is something that happens with a lot of thought. We work with, as Charlene mentioned, many businesses each year. And for most people, this is a significant decision that takes some time to think about. And it can be very confusing, as particularly in rural communities, there are few resources to help you sell your business. And because most of us don't do this very often, we're not even sure what order to do things in. So I'm here today to give you a bit of an overview of the process, along with some tips and ideas that can help make your business transition a successful and stress-free one. So this workshop has been designed to provide guidance, expertise, and some real-life examples about how to go about selling your business successfully. What we'll talk about is that there is a path to follow to sell your business in a way that works for you. This will also try and provide you with some information about how to find the right resources when you need them and how to avoid common seller mistakes. If anyone is interested in engaged in trying to sell their business or thinking about selling it, this is a good workshop for you. So Community Futures and Venture Connect working together to help you sell your business. Community Futures Parkland is a community-based economic renewal initiative funded by the Government of Canada and directed by local volunteer board. The main objective is to help rural Canadians start or expand a business and to help sustain and improve communities and their local economies. Venture Connect is a subsidiary of a number of Community Futures and a working partner with Community Futures throughout the Western provinces. With priority on rural communities, the focus is business retention during unprecedented demographic shifting and business transitions. One of the most important things to realize initially is that it's never too soon to start thinking about selling your business. On average, it takes 2 years or more for a business to sell. That doesn't mean that every business takes that long, but it means that it can. And as a seller, you don't want to wait too long and give yourself a short runway to be able to accomplish this. Most owners, unfortunately, don't sell their business at the peak strength. Only 5% sell their businesses when they are at the top. Each of our businesses goes through a life cycle that looks like this, where we start off, business is growing, things are going well, and then we reach a peak, and many times we give ourselves a little bit of a rest, we take our foot off the gas, and then the business maybe hits a plateau, maybe starts sliding a little bit backwards. So a lot of times we can turn around and create more growth again. But as we near the end of our desire to run our business, the slide can continue and you can end up losing more and more value of the business. So the majority of owners do stay too long, sometimes waiting for an economy to improve. And what they end up doing is getting less for their business in the end because they haven't exited when they were at the top of their game. Right now, one of the biggest things that's happening, changes in the market, is that we're in the midst of an unprecedented demographic change. Baby boomers are getting older, the generation. Most business owners are older when they're looking at selling, and there are fewer buyers in the younger generation. Most of that is that there are simply fewer people. But also there are fewer workers. We all know for businesses, it's harder to find employees. So there are shortages of entrepreneurs and shortages of employees. So our focus here is to help you understand that it's a limited market for buyers. There's a big market. 98% of all businesses in Canada are small businesses, and they create 60% of the employment. Majority of business owners are older and are thinking of retiring soon. So depending on what study you realize or you look at, 40 to 50% of business owners are planning on exiting their business in the next 5 years. That means there's a lot of businesses that need new ownership, far more than there are buyers who are looking to purchase. But there is some help and there's some good news. There is a pathway you can take that will help you increase your odds of finding a successful outcome. So in our work, we've identified 4 steps: planning, preparing, marketing your business, and then connecting and ending up with a sale. Step 1 is planning. What we do in this step is, as an owner, what you want to do is determine your personal expectations. What's most important to you in the sale of your business? Is it the amount of money? I mean, obviously money matters, but it doesn't always mean everything to business owners. The continuity of business in the community, sometimes there's family considerations. Most business owners want to find someone who is good for the business and will ensure its success into the future. As an owner, you need to understand your exit options. Are there, as I mentioned, family members? Are there employees? Are there other folks who have indicated an interest in your business that might be, a good fit? Another part of this step is to understand what your business value is. I'll talk about that a little more in the next slide. And then as part of the business value is understanding and being aware of the financial and tax implications that will occur when you sell your business. So value, many factors are involved in the valuation of any business. The most important one is financial return, of course. Most of our small businesses are going to be purchased by an owner-operator, and the financial return matters the most for financing and for people's expectations. But there are other factors that contribute as well. The potential of the business, how tied are the customers to the business, how predictable are the results, and how much investment, how much money do I have to invest to get this return? All of those factors are involved in varying degrees in the value of the business. And one of the key things that you can do is ensure that you understand the value of your business and getting an objective valuation about what the potential value of your business would be. The next step is preparation. So you've thought about this, and now you're convinced that you do want to sell and you're ready to move forward. You need to prepare your financial information. What are you going to share with buyers when they get serious and after they've signed a non-disclosure agreement? How much are your assets worth? An asset list is really important, not only to show the buyer what it is that they're getting and eliminate any confusion about things that might be included or not, but as well, if they're looking for financing, that will be something that will be absolutely necessary for the lender. You want to think about growth opportunities for a buyer. What could new energy and new investment in the business focus on to help it grow. And if you have documentation of operational procedures or other things that go on in the business that would be helpful in transition, those are good things to have as well. The third step, once you have all the information together, is to think about who might buy the business. Who would your best buyer be? Your business is worth varying amounts for different buyers. Some people will value it more than others. And so from your standpoint, you want to make sure that you try and connect with the buyers who will value it the most. Some kind of business information package is really helpful. We do something we call a business fact sheet, which combines visuals, pictures of the business, along with some factual information and opportunity information about the business that provide something for the buyer beyond simply the conversation that you have. It eases the pressure for yourself as a seller because you don't have to remember all the details. They're included in this information package. So, and it's something you only have to do once. You don't have to do over and over again. It's also something that can be emailed or communicated electronically in a listing, which reduces the amount of energy and hassle on yourself in terms of providing information from requests from buyers. At this point, you also want to consider, are you going to engage a service provider? So that might be a broker, a business broker, a realtor. Do you have real estate that you're selling along with the business? So at this point, these are the kinds of decisions that you need to think about and then decide how you want to proceed. The advertising plan, if you've engaged a professional seller, then they should be responsible for that, and they should provide you with something that will give you comfort in terms of how they are going to advertise your business and market it and do a good job of getting it in front of potential buyers. The last step, now you've got your business out there, is making connections. So sometimes there are buyers that we call strategic buyers who might be interested. These can be people like competitors, someone in a space that might be collaborative, like perhaps a supplier that wants to vertically integrate, perhaps someone who wants to expand and your business would help them to do that. Perhaps, like I have, a glass shop that wants to expand its service region and they're in a neighboring community, and your business will help them to expand throughout a different region. So things like that, those kinds of buyers are often best approached individually. We also recommend that you work community resources and local networks, your Chamber of Commerce, your Community Futures. People like that, economic development, have potential buyers coming to them from time to time. And it's helpful if those people know that your business is available for sale as well. And in this point, one of the most important things that I like to get across as well is that when you get to a deal, make sure it's well documented. Sometimes people, like to deal verbally. They have a conversation, they feel good, maybe they even shake hands, but it's not completely documented. And that, unfortunately, is not the way to go. There's a very good chance that deal will fall apart because there's lots of details that don't get included, and then those are the things that the deal can falter on later. So we always suggest that you, if you're working with a professional, they'll help you to document it. If not, that's something that we do for our clients, where we work through a letter of intent and make sure that all of the information is written down and parties agreed and signed. So, to summarize, it is a challenging market. It's not business as usual when it comes to selling a business because there are many businesses for sale and fewer buyers. So we have to consider market factors if we expect to sell our business successfully and get the maximum benefit from the transaction. So in order to be competitive, you need to create a sale plan, listen to good advice, and keep your expectations reasonable and flexible. Some of the things that we do at Venture Connect to help our sellers is listing. So it's free to list on our website. That can be done at any time by anyone with their business for sale. And that we are targeted, we're connected also with a number of other websites that help create exposure to people across Western Canada and beyond. There is a confidential listing option, and what we do through that is we make sure that there is exposure to buyers. We also have a pool of buyers who come to our site and are looking for businesses. So we work with those folks as well. We do provide a valuation service to help you determine the market value of your business or get a second opinion of a valuation you may already have. Sales information package, as I mentioned before, we can help you put that together. And then advice and mediation if you actually find a buyer and are not working with a service provider, we can help you ensure that what you've got, agreement you've got, is well documented. Next steps, what you can do today. There is a seller workbook resource that's available free from charge from Community Futures Parkland. So you can request your copy of that from the office. You can contact Charlene at Community Futures Parkland if you'd like to receive a free valuation for your business. Some of the most common mistakes to avoid that we've discovered through the last 10 years of working with clients. The number one mistake is waiting too long to get started. You don't want to wait until a health event or something else happens that drives you, your timing, and forces you to sell under the gun and under pressure. That creates a lot of stress, hassle, and frustration for people. This next one, closing the business without even pursuing the option to sell, research indicates that 30% of people, business owners, are actually thinking about doing this. And that, honestly, every single business has the potential to find a buyer. As long as you're reasonable in your expectations, we believe that every business should give it a shot before they make that decision. A third mistake is choosing the selling price based on your retirement needs. The two do not go hand in hand. Your business is worth what it is based on market factors, not on our own needs. You can wait too long to get started, but you can also not give yourself enough time to find a buyer. Sometimes it happens quickly, but as I mentioned before, a lot of times it takes time and you need to be patient. Another mistake is getting stuck on a particular sale configuration. Sometimes examples of this might be, sometimes people own the building and the business and they want to sell it as a package, but maybe it works better selling one before the other. Sometimes in today's market, there's a lot of situations where you're paid over time, so you may not necessarily get all of the money right at closing. And that's something that no seller is excited about, but sometimes it makes sense. And so that's something that you should at least think about. And a good advisor can give you sort of the options to protect yourself and what's common and what might make sense in your situation. Another mistake is not having a professional package ready for buyers. The problem with that is that you're just making it easy for a buyer to lose interest in your business, and you're making it difficult for the buyer to go and get financing. It's going to drag things out, and it's going to reduce your chances of a successful close. So having that done up front really solves a lot of problems. And then the last one I put in is getting greedy at the end. I'm a middle child, and so I'm always a bit of a compromiser, but I see many deals where people are very, very close and they just lose patience at the end, and they, cut off their nose to spite their face, and turn and decide they're not going to give in on this last thing. And maybe it wasn't that important. So, taking a breath, thinking about it, not getting, it's not just greedy, but stubborn at the end, is something that you don't want to do when you're so close to the finish line. If you have any questions or would like further information, feel free to contact me. My email is up there, darrell@ventureconnect.ca, and we'd be happy to answer any questions or have a conversation. And I'd like to thank Community Futures Parkland and the Rural Opportunities Fund for this opportunity to share this this presentation with you. And I wish you all stress-free and successful exit to your business when it's time.